Looks fucking cool.
He does look.
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 Yeah, it's like we're on fucking Mad Men, just
Yeah.
fucking casually drinking, just back to back. Just next scene. Here's another bourbon. Here's another couple of cigarettes.
Let me go drive home.
Yeah, let's
Drive home all drunk and into the ditch, and then we're like, yeah, let's pretend this never happened.
Yeah.
Although, like,
you're looking pretty good. You're waking up with all these bloody noses. You're, oh yeah, I'm fine. Bruise is gone.
I do like that John Hamm. I think his like face
Oh.
shape. Just put him in a Batman costume already.
He's perfect.
No, make him
Christ.
Clark Kent. He's Superman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
He
even
is
more so.
Superman.
Thank you for
yeah.
correcting me on
Yeah,
that.
the thing I hate the most about Mad Men is the people who didn't get it and were kind of glorifying what it's portraying.
Yeah, it's kind of. I would say it's ambiguous as to whether or not the show is, because it's like, well, it's showing how shitty it is, but it's also showing them like looking fucking cool, drinking
Right.
and smoking.
So
Yeah.
of course,
it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, can't have a watch and be like,
Yeah, I'll have a nice glass go along with this.
Oh, geez.
even me as a black man, I'm
Black men.
multiple men. Like, even though these are a bunch of like racist, mean old fucking white rich guys, I'm just like watching them like smoking and stuff. I'm like, these guys are fucking bad.
They're wearing cool. They're wearing cool.
just
perfectly
maintaining
clean suits.
total lucidity, like
yeah.
just getting trashed from morning, noon, and night, and then even late at night, dude's like,
It's 1 a.m.
it's like,
Just come over and let's have a drink. It's like, all right, I'm coming over. It's like,
you're really gonna go over there? It's the middle of the night. You're gonna pound more booze and then what?
Fucking
What? Go home and then go back to work?
Don't forget infidelity.
Oh yeah,
Like so
just
much
copious,
rampant infidelity.
So there you go. You got sex, smoking, drinking, glorifying, the good old boys.
There's that episode where Don goes to the fucking doctor and he claims he's cut down on his smoking and drinking, like straight up
It's
face
toasted.
lies.
Yeah,
Toast.
it's toasted. Well, some movies shouldn't exist. Let's pretend they do.
That's what we're here to do.
I'm Peter Hunter,
I'm Desmond Port.
I'm Scott Hanshoe.
and welcome to
The new
the new
prequel, sequel, remake.
New and
Yeah.
improved. We're going to talk about some changes we've made around the old
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We moved some desks around and opened up the space. It's all loungy and relaxing. We got a turntable out. We got a crate of bourbon, like literally a wooden crate full of bourbon. And we got
I'm smoking fucking cigarettes. Dude.
yeah, directly into the capsule of my expensive microphones.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
It enhances the
pipe.
sound. Yeah, if Howard
Today's episode is brought to you by Lucky Strike. No, scratch that. That's still a company, right?
yes, it is.
Oh, that's
It's
probably
also
not
a
good to
bowling
say.
alley in the city. But yeah, if Howard the Duck taught us anything, is that we should smoke lots of cigars and not worry about the consequences. But we're not here to talk about Howard
not
the Duck.
anymore.
No,
what
it's
are we here-
done.
It's in the past.
Yeah, we're moving on. We'll only think about it when we close our eyes, when we try to wander off into sleep at the darkest hours of the night.
Talking about Howard the Duck.
I like that
That was hard
we've heard
there.
that song so much, and we've never made the
No,
choice to learn any of the lyrics.
My
aside from-
lyrics.
It's more fun as gibberish.
It's better not to know, I
Yeah,
find.
it
but
is.
speaking of informing things,
Well, today's episode.
yes, exact. Thank you, Desmond.
So, hey, welcome back, folks. It's your boy, Desi B.
No, scratch that from the record. We're not going to call you Desi B. Scratch it.
Today's film is the 1996 children's family hit Matilda, directed by Danny DeVito, starring Mara Wilson, Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman, M. Beth Davids, and Pam Ferris. Short synopsis, based on the beloved Roald Dahl novel.
Roald Dahl.
A young genius who is mistreated and neglected by her family accidentally starts World War III when...
What?
Sorry.
What?
runs afoul of her school's strict and surly principal.
All right.
Oh, and she discovers she has powers. Hijinks ensue.
I was gonna say I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, it
It might have made it more interesting. Maybe they did have the principal was very commandant-esque, very
Yeah. Oh,
over
most-
the top, just Nazi caricature type, dealy.
But yeah, we'll get into the Trunchbull
Yeah.
in
In a
depth.
second.
But just to circle back here, this movie came out, when we were little kids.
We were fucking
We were in
little.
elementary school.
1996? Yeah.
96. Yeah, we were in elementary school. Scott? I'll start with Scott.
Okay.
What do you remember about this movie when you were in elementary school?
I remember the poster.
She's very smug and like
Yeah, she's just giving a little smile. It's mostly a full-frame thing. The poster's mostly blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is blue. There's like household
uh,
objects floating around her.
Yeah, I might have seen a preview or two, some kind of inkling of special powers going on. Other than that, that's all I remember.
I remember I saw it. I generally liked it, and we were little. We were like 7 or 8.
Yeah, we were
probably.
definitely
But
little.
I really liked the movie. I remember it was always one that would be put on on like rainy days at school when you couldn't go out to recess. It was like one that the teacher had around. So I'd seen it a lot as a kid. Hadn't seen it in probably 20 years before watching it for the show. But yeah, I don't know. It was nothing I ever watched at home. Didn't own it. But saw it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, you have a little memory tied to this whole filmaroonie?
I will say, in elementary school, my best friend was a lady. Watch out, ladies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Wow.
Now that's trashy as hell. I do not endorse that joke I just made.
You don't have to stand by everything you say.
You don't?
I mean,
Next week's
2018?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I got taken to this movie for like play dates, and I remember this one and Harriet the Spy in particular.
dude, they fucking like really blend.
Yeah, they
when,
do.
when I'm
They
remembering
definitely
them,
do.
and they're both good, really good movies.
Yeah, they're
like,
good- they're good
great
kids'
kids
movies,
movies. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I will say when I was a kid, I'd be like, I kind of like this, but I'm a boy. Why? Like, I was like challenging my own masculinity at the time. Like, now looking back at it, it's totally ridiculous. Like, I like, plenty of movies starring ladies. There aren't that many, unfortunately, Hollywood.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
understand
Didn't get a
being a
lot.
shitty little '90s boy.
Yeah.
And like that. Like
Oh, I sucked.
yeah.
We all sucked. None of us were good.
No, but like,
been pure at heart, Peter.
here's a.
I've always been. I will maintain.
Do you need more bourbon, Scott?
Yeah, just a little.
I will. No. You're onto something, Peter. Because I will say that Matilda and Harriet the Spy were very instrumental in me as a little dude, like being like, oh yeah, I can identify with a female protagonist.
Wasn't Harry the Spy like a Nickelodeon TV show? Though?
Yeah. No. You're
No, it
thinking
was
of
the first Nickelodeon original film.
Yeah.
There was a TV show.
Which it's good. It's Harriet the Spy. I'm sorry to go off on it, and I won't go too into it because we'll probably cover it later. But Harriet the Spy has some really fucking deep themes about friendship in there. If I recall correctly.
fucking espionage.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Who can you trust?
Fucking Red Scare. Harriet the Spy being
Russian
waterboarded.
neighbor
man.
moves in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
It was the... Oh, God.
Backtracking a bit.
Yeah, back to Matilda.
Long
yeah.
story short, she learns to love her neighbor even despite their differences, and it was a wholesome episode.
It was. Fucking
Wholesome
that episode
movie.
of Doug. Dear
Yeah.
Diary, some.
Oh, God. Future Scott, bleep all of that out. Why are all these 10-year-olds... How are all these 10-year-olds getting money to go to, like, burger stands all the time? And, like, what are they doing?
It's called an allowance.
Why did they try
Peter.
to bring
It's
back
called
scat?
It's called
Why-
an allowance, Peter.
Who wanted scat back? Who wanted it back? Anyone?
The Scat Man.
Yeah, he was huge in Europe.
He's huge everywhere. The Scat Man is a legend.
All right,
Scat Man
chill.
will never die.
I didn't tell Patty before I...
Oh my gosh. All right, this has already gone incredibly off the rails.
It's got really... Okay, let's bring it back to...
All right, back to...
You funny? Oh my god. Another swirl, you stupid shit.
Wow. For new listeners, hello. Scott hates Doug with such a burning, intense passion.
Whoa. I don't hate Doug. I hate Doug's first movie.
You do not like Doug.
I don't like Doug,
But
I know a lot about Doug.
Is it possible that
Because
some
we
of
all
your...
watch these episodes like time and time again.
Because it was on.
Because
Because it was on. And
It's
you were
always
waiting
on.
for the show you wanted to be on to be on.
There's a bomb in the lasagna. Oh, my writer's block. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
hey, well, Doug's first movie. Let's bring it back to Matilda's first
Yes,
movie.
let's bring it back to Matilda's
Matilda's
first
only movie until later.
Yeah,
until
tonight.
coming up.
Tomorrow, today.
today.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Matilda as a kid.
Yes.
I think it is interesting that young child love of movies about unfortunate children. I've never really understood it. Cinderella type shit,
Every Disney
kids
movie.
love watching
Yeah.
shit about abused kids.
Well,
it would seem.
But I would say that these are the only movies that are widely distributed to children, and they just so happen to have a lot of these themes. I think, there's
Sure.
a lot of things going into it, but I think, one of the things that plays into it is that they're obviously preying on the idea, children, everybody remembers like to be a kid. They forget how the loneliness that is like, that goes with, being young and, not really, the adults, they might, talk to you a certain way, but they're all looking down on you. They're not taking a word you say seriously, even though, kids are obviously, very with it and smart and not giving enough credit.
They really are.
I think it plays to all of the, it plays on the heartstrings, all that stuff. I think that's one of the things that, for better or for worse, is why it's commonly employed in all these kids' movies.
But to Matilda's credit, there is it's a little scary in parts. There's peril, and I think that's really
dick
important.
parents.
Yeah, dick parents.
they're terrible.
But I think that's important in kids' movies. A lot of them. The fluffy fluff, everything's fine angle, which is starting to really kind of go away.
I think, for a while now.
But
I think,
which kids' movies do you actually see that? You know what I mean? Like almost
go away.
Almost all of them is like just like horribly broken family settings, or like given most of the Disney movies, it's almost always like some orphan.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like-
they couldn't even Goofy,
I don't know,
single parent.
Yeah,
they couldn't
Goofy.
even give Goofy a partner.
I mean, as
Life.
a kid, it kind of goes over your head and like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I just kind of like Aladdin, who cares? But like looking back, and I was like, wait a minute, like why are all of these protagonists like from broken homes? Like you're primarily like an audience that's like, some of them are in decent homes. So I don't understand. Like, why
right.
are you identifying with this so much? Like your parents probably love you.
So did anyone read the book?
I mean, I did when I was a child.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I remember from the book, and this is super sad, is when she's getting tea at Miss Honey's house, she has margarine, and she's like, oh, she must be poor, she's using margarine.
Damn,
And I had
Matilda.
margarine at my
Fuck.
house, and internally I was like, well, Matilda,
Well, you
Wow.
looking down your nose, you fucking douchebag.
Yeah, but that's all I remember. Roald Dahl books, if you haven't read any of them, they tend to like have underlying like darker themes than how they're presented, except for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That is really up front. We're like, hey, you're gonna mess around? Punished.
Yeah, you will die.
Implied death.
I have a
You
lot.
get sucked up this tube and die in underwater in
Yeah.
some horrific
You're gonna-
vacuum-sized death.
You're gonna explode in blueberry juice.
I have a lot of love for Roald Dahl books. A lot
I
of
like
those
them
stories
too.
definitely influenced me, and and Matilda's a really good adaptation. There's differences, but man, the Trunchbull, and we'll get on her in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
what a fucking great casting choice.
perfect.
There. But yeah, moving right along, let's talk characters, boys.
Yeah.
All right, Matilda, the lovely Mara Wilson. Mara Wilson. Sorry, Mara Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, Mara Wilson, now an author, in general, just like a really funny, clever person.
Yeah, she's way cool.
Yeah, no, she's
she
super
was
cool.
definitely, man, what were her other movies? Was she Mrs. Doubtfire?
She was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Doubtfire.
She was also Magic in the Water, I think.
Oh.
The Nessie sort of movie.
And I think one of her last big like theatrical releases was Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Oh, that's
which is
unfortunate.
a really bad movie in a good way.
Oh.
Everyone go check it out. Alec Baldwin takes the role of the conductor. Yeah. Oh
Hey
yeah.
guys, hey, I'm just here to, the train's moving.
You little pig.
Oh, that's a really good Alec Baldwin dress.
He's a pompous asshole.
I mean, he's a part of an acting family. Of course he is.
All the Baldwins are dead.
You missed me.
Yeah.
You know, very good child actor. I will give it like it cannot be easy doing that shit as a kid.
No.
We all know it. We all know the trials and tribulations that child actors go through. Mara Wilson's been very vocal about those types of issues, but she gave it her all in Matilda. I would say her performance, maybe not intentionally, comes off a little creepy. Matilda seems kind of detached.
I think that's the fault of the direction.
Maybe,
and a lot of tonal choices.
I'm not saying the acting is bad.
No.
In any way. But there are parts where like, man, you're kind of a creepy little kid, Matilda.
I mean, I think just inherently a super smart child is a little unnerving because you're like, hey, you're
Why
supposed
are
to
you-
struggle a little bit.
Me adulty, me smarty you. Why you so smart?
Well, maybe you probably hit the nail on the head there. Why I
Yeah.
felt that way.
Yeah.
But she's lovely, and yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's the
Yeah, that's all I have to
title
s-
character.
Yeah, good performance. I will say the last child actress they have playing like 4-year-old Matilda
Yes.
before she becomes like 6-year-old Matilda does not look like Mara Wilson.
No,
like, at
there's
all.
not enough of an age gap for those two
Yeah.
girls to morph
Yeah.
into
Come
each
on,
other, and you have it in
casting.
the same
Come on, Cass.
same shot. It's like 4-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
That didn't work for me.
It worked
but-
on paper until it didn't. Yeah, I think part of that is also like, you know, if you think about it, Matilda's kind of the precursor in a lot of ways to the Harry Potter craze, but also to the creepy girl horror movie franchise craze. So it was kind of like the budding point from which those movie tropes sort of split off in a way.
Elaborate, Scott. I want to hear you elaborate on
You
that.
know what I'm talking about? Like The Ring and like all of these movies that've got like creepy little girls in them that are like, she's a little girl, but she's, because there's always this thing about mediumistic qualities of women. So they've always got this like, connection to the other side because they can, bear children or whatever. And
I
it's
mean,
like,
I'd say that stems from a lot of horror movies in the 70s and 80s, especially foreign horror films, like Japanese ones like you're linking to. I don't necessarily agree that Matilda spawned that.
I don't think it's the direct
I might
spawn.
agree with
I don't
Harry
know the direct
Potter.
spawn. It's
I
like
might agree with Harry Potter.
It's like you don't just say that one stream contributes into the entire river. They all merge together. Is what I'm saying. It's like so it was upstream of all of this stuff that came later. Could I just be drawing a line between two things that exist in time? Yes. Do I need more than 2 data points to do that? No, not at all.
well, it's also a book that came out like 30 years prior, too.
definitely.
So
Am I
you
the
do
only
have a
one?
point. You do have a
Wait,
point.
Is Roald Dahl is a male or female?
Male.
Male.
Okay. Not enough people named Roll for me to like really know
Rolled.
that.
Roald.
Hey, what you're stating? What you're
Rolled.
stating is like kind of, or like maybe not so the creepy child, but like the child abuse themes are
Yeah.
pretty steady throughout all Roald Dahl books.
Yes,
I'd say.
or absent.
I know what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Which speaking of like that craze, let's move on to Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood, played by Danny DeVito and his wife Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, also the director. They're basically the fucking Dursleys.
They are absolutely the Dursleys.
Over the top, just scumbag, just absolutely very ignorant, portrayed in that way.
Car salesman, cheeser ass fuck.
The grossest, like eating the TV dinners, like in front of the, like 2 feet in front of the tiny television. They're like
Right.
just watching like whatever trash is on.
Looking straight out of a John Waters film.
Oh, he does. He does look like like if you crunched John Waters down to
Dude,
Danny DeVito's size. That's
yeah.
exactly what
Oh,
it is. Dad.
hey there,
That's
Matilda.
good. That's so good. Oh man, John Waters would be great.
John Waters is fucking
Oh,
awesome.
I should have.
Yeah.
Oh man, I should have made him my director. Oh, whatever.
Hey, I will say
Too late
something
now.
and it's too late.
I a little side story. You like the loose form. I'm gonna branch off.
Sure.
I snuck a John Waters movie when I was like 7 or 8.
Oh, I bet you didn't understand it at all.
I didn't understand it all because it was rated R. I thought there'd be sex in it. It was,
Yeah, there
I think it was
might
like
have been.
desperate living or something. I think that was the one. It was like grotesque and it fucked me up.
A lot of his movies are grotesque.
Oh, that explains it.
I would say.
yeah.
I would
Just a
say
little bit.
every one of his movies except Hairspray probably has grotesque moments in it.
I love John Waters now.
Oh yeah, no, I love John
absolutely.
Waters too. Pink Flamingo, the
not-
greatest
not-
film ever
oh, yeah.
made.
Not for kids. I'm not about shielding kids, but John Waters movies are not for fucking kids.
No, they're definitely not.
Rita and I when we were in Baltimore one time, we actually visited the place that John Waters would get a lot of his like costumes from. I don't know.
That's rad.
Just a tidbit that I thought of there. Like, oh yeah, that was cool.
It is in the way he
A lot of
embraces.
interesting stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The way he embraces weirdos.
Yeah, he definitely finds characters in real life and then writes to their strengths as opposed to writing and casting.
I mean, weirdos in the best of ways.
But-
if I say weirdo,
I mean, come on, look
Most of the time
look who's speaking.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I would say unconventional people.
Unconventional,
Unconventional,
Because
but-
weirdo can point to pedo.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't making that leap, but you know,
I wasn't making that leap.
Well, I
either, but
mean,
anyways.
it could be, you know.
It could be.
It could be.
it has
Yes,
a-
you're right. If people take it the
That's a
wrong
bad
way.
connotation.
It has a bad connotation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eccentric,
Eccentric, unconventional.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless you're Weird Al. In which case, you know, hey,
Yeah.
he's fucking owning
By
it.
the way,
He's also got a Lazarus pit in his fucking garage.
you know that Weird Al is a
people
pun,
can
right?
afford it.
Did you know Weird Al is a pun on normal?
Oh, I really didn't. Actually, wow. This
Yeah.
is a lifelong Weird Al.
Weird
fan.
Al's a
You're kinda
pun on normal.
blowing my mind.
I fucking love that
Blowing
man.
my
so
mind.
Yeah, he's brilliant. But
I simply will not
but
stand for people bad mouthing Weird Al. It's
No.
like, you know,
he's a pure angel.
you leave.
He's a gift. Weird Al is a gift.
This man, you know, it's like you just go see him in concert and you try to tell me that man is not incredibly talented. I don't care if he's making parodies or whatever you think about making parodies of things. If you think that that's like hackneyed or whatever, it's like, yeah, who else is doing it that good? Shut
No
up.
one.
You
He's
know
a
what I mean?
celebrated like performer, and it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
by all appearances, a very nice guy.
Yes.
Love you, Weird Al.
Yeah, we love him.
Come back.
There's also a Wormwood brother, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah, Michael Wormwood. I
Who
think
gives
his
a
name-
fuck?
yeah.
Fuck him.
He's some
Yeah.
stupid dweemer. That's all.
Yeah,
I'll
he
say.
never had another fucking
Wow.
acting job. I hope he's bankrupt. And moving on to Trunchbull, Pam Ferris.
Yeah, there we go.
perfect casting.
Oh.
I did read the book. I think of that. I think of the live action portrayal. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way. She gave it her all.
It's really hard to separate them.
That's the name of the really overbearing principal type
Yes,
character.
yes.
Right?
He is the
Now
principal.
you said it while
Or
we were watching it,
headmaster.
Scott. You said it. The character gets old. That's not to detract from the performance because she's great.
Yeah.
But man, the Trunchbull
It
character
just-
just fucking wears
It
on
just
you.
really drags on, and it's one note.
Yeah.
And she's just fucking borderline Nazi.
and that
Oh,
and
she's
that,
militant. She's incredibly militant and aggressive.
that comes down to, I wouldn't put it on her. I put it more on like the director.
yeah, I would put it on the director.
Because the director is the one who has to be able to see all the beats throughout the script and to act accordingly. And you can just make one character from their introduction, every single scene moving forward, acting exactly the same. It's static. It's boring. It doesn't evolve. It's just the same thing. And even if it's really good, it's just like a chase scene that goes on for too long.
Yeah.
It's just too long. It
we-
just gets fucking boring.
Yeah.
No, I will say, as a director, I could imagine like getting that gold, like that first scene with the Trunchbull, and being like, "Yeah, I just want this every time." It's so
Keep doing
good.
it. Just keep doing it.
Because
keep doing
it's
it.
good.
It is good.
Oh
but
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
Hey,
Keep doing it. Yeah.
Danny
let's
DeVito.
not imply anything about Danny DeVito here.
Did he direct it too?
Yeah,
Yes, he directed.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
wait a minute.
I said that earlier. You
Yeah,
fucking.
we brought it up a bunch while we.
Now that you mention it, I remember it. Whatever. All I'm saying is he directed it, he starred in it,
He narrated
and he
it.
narrated it.
We'll get on that later.
Yeah.
Hold
no,
that thought. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
get on
definitely
that.
do that.
Yeah.
But
And let me take this quick. I think it's best. I always gotta say this with our show. It's really best if you've seen this movie.
yeah, well, that's why we've started letting people know what the movie is ahead of time.
Yeah.
So they can see it.
I know we
It's
haven't really.
also not a good idea to get too close to your movie's production when it gets that big. You know what I mean? I think wearing all those hats start to wear a little thin.
Oh, I definitely think it's a negative.
Okay,
overall.
but moving through the characters, and then okay, Miss Honey, another lead of the movie, but she's fine, but she's just the virtuous blank slate character.
She's vanilla ice cream.
She's just nice,
Yeah,
and
she's fluffy. She's sweet. She's like kind-hearted. Like she does what she needs to do. She's a
Perfectly fine.
perfect foil to the Trunchbull. Like it.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. That's it.
I kept thinking of man, I think Vera Farmiga, the actress from she's in the Departed and I think the Conjuring movies.
Yes,
one of those type things.
No, you're right.
But I just kept thinking of that actress who's kind of in a lot of stuff now. But yeah, I don't know. Miss Honey isn't particularly interesting. She's just nice to Matilda, which is fine.
And it breaks from everyone else who is not
exactly.
Nice to Matilda.
But moving on to plot critiques. This movie's very uneven.
I will say when it gets to the school, it works very well, but it takes too long to get to the school.
Takes too long to get to the school, and then I think school takes too long. You know what I mean? Like everything is just slow to develop, and they kind of hint at this whole powers thing, and then they don't really develop it in a way that's like. Until it's just, it all comes out at once. And,
that's kind of how it happens in the book, so I don't really fault them for doing it that way. I will say that the first half, I could see Danny DeVito getting too obsessed with his gags, because there's all those
hijinks.
Stupid car gags. There's like, I'm pouring the sawdust in, I'm turning back the meter, I'm super duper gluing it.
Oh, Peter, and there's even in this movie like the classic hijinks in the lunchroom or picnic where the cake goes flying, whoop, 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 it falls on someone.
Wow, oh no.
What am I gonna do with all this cake all over me? Oh,
food everywhere.
I will say, tonally, like, it's kind of a big problem that Danny DeVito plays one of the villains in the film, and he's trying to do this whimsical narration as well.
Oh, yes.
Like, there are at least...
That is probably the biggest problem in the movie.
After I noticed it, I counted, like, 2 times where he is screaming at Matilda for no reason, like, as an abusive, terrible father would. And then after that, it's like, Matilda was discouraged, and like this whimsical, relatable narrator, and it's like
I would say add to that omniscient narrator.
Yes,
he plays both a real physical character in the thing and also the omniscient narrator. It's not like there's a nuance in his range. Danny DeVito is Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
He is. Sounds like Danny DeVito. He looks like Danny. I mean,
we love him, but he can't be anything else. He is. You imagine him getting into mischief, either like wholesome or not wholesome, and smoking a cigar. That's Danny DeVito's character and everything, as it should be.
Rhea Perlman is stock, Vegas lounge, scummy lady character.
Yeah,
she's
much.
Good. Yeah, Matilda. Yeah, you were gonna go get lotto scratches or whatever the fuck,
Yeah, exactly.
She's great.
I gotta watch my stories. That's her. But yeah, that I like. That really turned me off. They could have just gotten any like British person, just any British person to narrate it, and it would have worked fine to me,
Yeah, right.
As opposed to Danny DeVito.
Or Ron Howard or something.
Yeah, he's a great narrator.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's the alarming amount of child abuse that happens in Matilda.
Yeah.
So that's all that needs to be said. There's just an alarming amount. I mean, it's just like never ending. And I guess on some levels, at least they're not sugarcoating it.
No,
I mean,
no.
they're kind of like putting it as it is. But on the other hand, I would say it's again very one note. It's like the characters all have this one note that they hit. They hit that note, and it's like when you have a cast, not to say a cast, but a movie that's just full of one note performances, one after the other, and it's really long. It kind of starts to feel like at the end that you didn't really watch anything happen. Like, really happen. Like, the only development that happens is that she has her powers, and it sort of changes the dynamic a bit.
Yeah. I mean, should we get into the powers?
Yeah, we can talk about
Let's get into the powers. Okay, the powers.
She has.
I don't remember it feeling this way in the book. Mm-hmm. It feels so tacked on in the movie.
It does come a little out of
it really is just like I don't know. That's kind of how she gets one over on the Trunchbull.
Yeah.
In the end. But even so, it just feels like in the first act, there's like a scene in each act where it's like, and she used her powers. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean it comes super late into the movie.
And that might be the fault of the book. I'd have to go read the book again.
But just let's. I
think it was like an hour.
Not and I understand, but let's not let's not fault the book entirely, because let's be honest. Most things that are book to movie adaptation, a lot of them disregard the book completely.
Yeah,
so
or
like
just
if
use
you're
it as a
making an
framing
adaptation,
device.
I mean, you should be able to completely disregard anything that just doesn't work for the screen.
Sure,
you know?
sure. I'm not saying I need some reason like Matilda is an experiment. X421. You know, I don't know. Like I don't need that, but it just doesn't. I watching the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, she does have powers.
Yeah, right.
That's like the whole point.
But the Boba Bobs have special powers, and let me just say this about the Boba
Oh my
Bobs.
god, not the Boba Bob again.
They have
damn
their
it.
special powers.
Oh my god.
And they let's go powers. We'll use our special powers to fight off any danger.
Hey,
Okay,
I'm sorry, guys. This is breaking news. Courtesy of my lovely girlfriend, Ben Affleck is entering rehab for the third time.
Oh,
Well,
ooh. Well, best of luck.
best
Best of luck.
Ben.
well, I hope that
Speedy recovery to
I hope
Ben.
that multimillionaire lands on his feet.
Yeah. I hope he has
I'm
enough,
thinking
enough
this text-
resources.
I think this text is an emergency or something.
Yeah.
Breaking.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make light of anyone's recovery at all.
No, definitely not.
No, that's not the
yeah,
joke.
Get healthy, do what works for you.
Ben.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're running a little long on discussion here, so any last things you want to touch on before we get into the heart of the
Yeah,
the thing?
I believe you had a story to tell about the cake eating scene.
Oh my god, wait, I do. This is worth it, I promise.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, good.
so 7 years old, right? So this would have been second grade, right? Our teacher would have us write, like once a week, we had to write like a 4-page little story in our journals, and that'd be like one of our assignments for the week. And then we'd have to do peer review things because, you know, it's easier for the teacher if someone else grades it. And I remember distinctly, like, someone handing me their journal, and I read it, and it was the cake scene exactly. They had just completely rewritten the cake scene from Matilda, except they were Matilda, and the kid eating the cake was the exact same kid. And it was, I remember as a child being like, this seems wrong, because I didn't know what plagiarism was. And I remember going up to the
Clearly, this didn't happen to you.
I remember giving it to my teacher. I think Mrs. Peterson was my teacher at that point. I might be wrong. Shout out to Mrs. Peterson.
What?
Yeah, she's definitely a podcast listener. And I'm being like, this seems wrong, and that kid got in trouble. I mean,
Wait, because you told on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they plagiarized Matilda.
What did you say to the teacher, though?
I don't remember what I
I
said.
mean, like, just like approximation of what you would have said.
It was probably something like, this isn't their story.
This is a scene from Matilda.
Yeah, well, and because like like Dad said, that was like a classic recess movie or like a rainy day movie.
Absolutely.
They were definitely familiar with
Absolutely.
it.
You would
yeah.
have think that the teacher would have
boy.
known.
Oh yeah, no, I think we had the book in
boy.
class. Yeah. Oh my God, boy, that song.
Yeah. Basically, the reason white people should stop making music. There's cold evidence
There's
for
lots,
why.
There's lots of reasons why white people should stop making music. Yeah, 13 Panic at the Disco albums later. It's not that many, but it's not that far from that many, and that's the sad part.
Say it ain't so.
Weezer too. Oh man. So Scott Hanshoe,
Uh-huh.
not Grog. Scott Hanshoe.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Would you recommend this movie?
Not exactly. No.
Fair enough. You're
All
a
right.
grown fucking
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's not for you. If you had a daughter or son, I should say.
I
if
would
you had a
show him
child-
something else.
Oh really? Wow.
I didn't dislike it. I mean, I had fun while we were watching it, but you know, in terms of movies that for me now that are gonna kind of do something for me, it's like I'm not gonna be going and watching kids movies.
Yeah, fair.
Very fair.
Yeah. All right. Desmond Ports.
Despite all the Dutch angles, the disconcerting amount of Dutch angles
They
in
are
this
a lot.
film.
It's like Battlefield Earth. In this.
Ugh.
There's a
Not
whimsical,
that bad. You take that back.
there's a whimsical through line that really carries the film, and while it's not my favorite thing ever, and I'm not fully, drawn in necessarily as an adult, like I would recommend it because it's a pretty solid kids movie. Absolutely, yeah.
And Peter.
Yeah, I would recommend Matilda, especially if you have kids. I would say, and I didn't bring this up earlier, but I think the coolest thing about this movie is that ultimately it's about a little girl using her mind to solve her problems. And, you know, there are very few movies that are
They're just about that. Yeah.
So, like, that, I'd say overall it's positive. So, yeah.
Good final note. Yeah.
Yeah, and,
absolutely.
And we'll get into the prequel, sequels, and remakes right after this.
We'll be right back.
Side note, we had a fan literally just email our email address the word allegedly, and that was the whole email.
Oh, yeah.
It was both hilarious and terrifying.
I love it.
Allegedly, yeah.
We're recording right now.
We're
right?
recording right
Let me just
now.
like shout out to the fans.
Yeah, shout out to the
Yeah.
fans. Yeah,
I think engagement really like warms my heart.
Yeah.
and I would love to talk to you all and engage with you all more. So really, just tweet at us, just an email.
Yeah.
It's it's great to hear from you and hear the things you like. I guess I don't like. I mean,
Yeah. Honestly, feedback is helpful. We're not going to be
So
like
yeah,
mad.
don't be a stranger. Really, we're all pretty chill.
Yeah.
and no one's gonna yell at you for trying to start a conversation.
Even if we do yell at you, we still love you.
Yeah. And Scott,
Yeah.
what if I told you there was a way to directly support prequel, sequel, remake?
Really? Oh, wow.
Say what?
Now, Peter,
Yes.
how would someone go about doing this?
Well, you would just go to prequelsequelremake.com. There's a big donate button right there. Any little bit helps. Doesn't cost a lot to keep this podcast going, but it does cost something.
Right.
And these costs are going to start adding up. So any little bit we get helps. You can also directly through our platform, Anchor. Shout out to Anchor.
Hi.
They've been great to us.
They've been fantastic. They're nothing but high marks for Anchor. If you go to anchor.fm/prequel sequel remake, there's a little button there. You can become a listener supporter. It's kind of like a Patreon. You'll set up a monthly donation anywhere from $1 to $10. Literally anything helps. And frankly, just leaving a review, leaving a 5-star rating, tweeting at us, posting on our Facebook, Instagram, any of that is amazing, and we love it every time it happens. So
Anytime you can donate an espresso shot our way, or,
I will take that shot.
an Uber tip, we'll take it.
Yeah. Great conversation.
Yeah. The driver was very friendly, and the conversation was very friendly. Okay, bro, I'm just gonna knock it all for you. I'm gonna give you 5 stars. It's all good as long as you ain't creeping. It's all good.
I had an Uber driver, and I got in, and he was like, "Do you want to talk or do you want to sit in silence?" And I was like, "Sit in silence," and he was like, "Great," and we did, and it was great. 5
You know what I
stars.
love about that? The guy, like, if you had said I want to talk, the guy was ready to talk.
Yeah,
dude.
no.
That's almost funnier to me.
Frankly, sometimes I like talking with my Uber drivers.
Sometimes I fucking do.
Yeah, I like getting in conversations with them, but sometimes I'm like, I'm going to a bar and I'm leaving a bar or something. Yeah, like
we got this Uber driver over here one time that the dude was trying to talk to me about Breaking Bad, but he literally had only seen like a couple episodes.
Oh,
he kept
dear.
making these like large leaps of logic and be like, oh yeah, and then this happened. It's like, no,
It's not fucking happening, you stupid fucking idiot.
that's hella fun.
I've started the headphone thing. I bring headphones with me.
Yeah, that's a
actually,
good defense.
This may sound like a crazy person. I frequently listen to our own podcast.
Oh, really?
In Ubers. Yeah. I have this obsessive thing where I like try to like. I'm such a sponge for weird media stuff, as you guys know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm really weird about my own content.
dude.
I listen to a lot of them, and like it's just kind of trying to remember what was said in them.
Or listen
Anyway.
back to like I don't listen back as much because I do all the editing, but listening back on some of them, like it's so hard to take the editor out of me because I'm like, ooh, I definitely missed a swear word there.
I mean,
You miss a lot of swear words.
Sometimes I miss them while I'm editing because I'm like, well, I'm not going back for it. It's gone,
Yeah, I enjoy the half swear word bleeping.
Aqua Teen did that.
Yeah.
Aqua Teen used to do that
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
and I love Aqua Teen.
I love Aqua Teen.
Well-
shout out
Well, so let's get into the meat of the show here.
the meat,
All right, so
the wad of meat.
So we're
Meat
not
raw.
doing sequel and remake yet. We're doing prequel.
yeah.
Who's on prequel duty? I really actually don't remember.
It's Scott.
Yeah,
It's
Scott.
me.
Henshaw. All right, Scott, you ready to prequel Matilda?
Oh, Oh, I'm ready.
You've been hitting your mic stand a lot today. You gotta adjust.
It's because I am adjusting. I'm adjusting to the new space. We're
Yeah,
loose.
that's true.
We're looking at each other. We're in a nice circle.
Yeah.
So it's working out.
You have
It's working
quite
out
a
for us.
treasure in that Heraldric cube.
Oh wait, no, I can do a good Deckard Kane.
You've got quite a treasure there in that Heraldric cube.
I need a key.
Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while.
I'm Geed. I could tell that you and me are gonna become good friends in this here encampment.
I
Until
don't
you-
trust you for 1 fucking second, Gee.
Geed, you fucking
Beat him to-
gamble, maybe get a fucking random item drop. Fuck off, Geed.
All right, but speaking of not Geed, Scott, you ready for the prequel?
Ready for the prequel.
All right, lay
Is
it-
the audience ready for the prequel? Can I get a yeah?
I said a yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going
ready.
to trust that you guys are putting your hands up. But if you have your hands on the wheel of your vehicle, don't put your hands up.
No, definitely.
Don't put your hands
10 and
up.
2.
You're in
10
for
and 2.
a bumpy ride.
Stay not distracted.
So if you do get pulled over while this podcast is playing, please leave it on.
Fucking punch the cop.
Give the cop
No,
like,
don't
heads
listen to
up and be like,
Jess.
yo, you should subscribe, you should leave a comment, you should rate 5
Subscribe
stars.
and stars.
Yeah.
All right, prequel, Scott.
Matilda prequel. Title. MK Tilda.
Oh no.
Oh.
This might line up with mine.
Tagline. Yet another distasteful movie normalizing terrible events from recent history.
Oh dear.
Tagline 2. Fun!
Jeez, I might need a jag of booze here.
You might take more than one there. Directed by John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Produced by the Duffer Brothers.
Why?
Outside a secret government military scientist base located on the outskirts of fuck all America, a guard stands watch at the gate. A car pulls up and rolls down the window. It's secret scientist J.L. Gizmo, as played by John Leguizamo.
Yay!
He chats up the guard as he flashes his badge.
Hey, Howard, how's it hanging, bro? Yeah, pretty low to the ground, Dr. Gizmo. Yeah, any lower and you might want to get that checked out. You heard me? Doctor's orders. You got it. Hey, what are y'all doing in there all the time? Well, you know what they say. I'd tell ya, but then I'd have to kill ya. That's foreshadowing. But seriously, don't ask questions. You got it, boss.
The gate opens and the doctor drives in. He sips his coffee as he bids good morning to the staff he meets at the front desk and in the hallway. Just another chipper morning at work. Dr. Gizmo swirls his keyring on his finger as he whistles and approaches the office door. Whistling away, as cheerful as can be, Dr. Gizmo finds the right key and unlocks the door. Pep still rooted squarely in his step. Dr. Gizmo strolls down a hallway stacked to the ceiling with cages containing an array of living test subject animals. He finally reaches a guarded metal door and gets a retinal scan. Access granted. Cut to a white room with a metal table. At the table sits Subject Tilda, as played by Matilda. In front of her hovers a series of cubes that are arranging themselves seemingly on their own. Behind the one-way mirror enters Dr. Gizmo.
Sorry I'm late. What do we got going on here? It's a game cube. What, you mean like Crazy Taxi? It's evolving.
Cue the GameCube startup logo sound effect. Dr. Gizmo stands back aghast.
I also love how. Yes, Crazy Taxi is on the GameCube is much more of a characteristically Dreamcast
Definitely
game.
Dreamcast, yeah.
I really love you for that because I own it on the GameCube too. But neither here nor there. Please
Yeah.
continue.
Dr. Gizmo stands back aghast.
Holy shit. Okay, time for me to get in there.
The test room door beeps open. Dr. Gizmo enters, now with a clown nose on.
Hey, Waka Waka, it's me, Dr. Gizmo. Fuck, Scott. Hi, Tilda. All right. According to my chart here, you're due for another round of completely illegal, totally unethical, prolonged experiments that somehow result in you having superpowers. How does that sound to you?
Tilda turns her attention from the cubes, and they fall to the floor. She locks eyes onto Dr. Gizmo.
Oh.
No. Hey, kid, what's with the look? I'm only stealing your childhood.
She focuses her gaze on Dr. Gizmo, and he begins to sweat, but he is unable to move or break the stare. The other scientists scramble to abort the experiment.
Get him out of there, now!
Dr. Gizmo is now swelling, his tie becoming tighter, his clown nose falling off. His skin reddens as sweat pours off his curling, swollen face.
Hey, come on, Tilda. Stop it.
The scientists attempt to enter the room, but Tilda uses her hand to shut the door from across the room. Because powers. Dr. Gizmo is now at maximum swelling capacity, about 4 times his original width. He screams and lets out a billow of steam from his nose and mouth just before exploding all over the room.
Aw, tiny legs.
A force field blast pushes all of the gore to the opposite side of the room. As the alarms ring in the background, Tilda stands very still. The clown nose rolls over and touches her foot. Cut to a stampede of all the test subject animals pouring out of the building and through the front gates. Tilda tucked swiftly between them. The security guard cowers in his booth as an elephant seal waddles past, knocking it over in the process. Later that afternoon, Tilda, in the civilian world now, sneaks around downtown streets. She hides away as a cop car drives past, lights flashing. The car stops and Tilda rushes down an alleyway. On the other side, she sees a car and opens the trunk with her powers. She stows away inside. The cop car patrols this block too, but eventually drives off. It is at this time that a shifty little man named Harry Wormwood, played by Danny DeVito still, and his young son, Mike, approach the car.
Hey, can you believe this, Mikey? Your clumsy old man left his keys inside the car again. Hand me that wire toy you got there. Don't worry, Daddy's gonna fix this.
Long wire in hand, Harry uses his elbow to bash in the car's front window. The alarm goes off, but naturally no one cares and just wants the noise to stop. He drives the honking car all the way back to his house. While trying to turn off the alarm, Harry's nosy neighbor, Mitch Mitchelson, runs out of his house, arms a-flailing.
Go.
Turn it off! Turn it off! My wife is inside the house. You almost got it. Here we go.
Harry unplugs the battery.
Now let's see what else we got.
Cut to an epic trunk shot as Harry opens the car's trunk. His face turns to dismay when he sees a very young girl in the trunk.
I stole the wrong fucking car.
Oh, fuck, man.
Hi there, little girl. My name is not important right now. What's your name? Matilda, huh? Okay, Matilda. Do you want to join our family on a really fun adventure?
Tilda looks back and forth at Harry and Mike, slowly nodding.
Okay then. Let's get you inside the shack here. What do you say?
Harry helps Tilda out of the trunk of the car.
Oh my word, were you driving with a child in the trunk of your car? Mitch, what the fuck are you still doing out here? This is my daughter. It's just a fun game we play, isn't that right, Matilda?
Matilda nods.
Well, I don't remember you having a daughter. Yeah, she's been staying with her grandma and pa for a few years, but they just died in the fire, so she's coming back home. All right, well, nice to meet you, Matilda. If you ever need anything, just come a knocking. Cookies, candies, college tuition. You just help yourself. Wait, tuition? Ugh. Marlene is barren, so we're desperate to fill the void.
Mitch chuckles as he motions toward his wife standing in the window, glass of wine in her hand. It's 11 a.m. Matilda nods to Mitch as Harry rushes her through the door and into the dilapidated house.
Hey, Zinnia, you know how you always wanted a daughter? Well, here you go.
Zinnia, Rhea Perlman, turns the corner with a cigarette in one hand and a lit one in her lips. Her expression changes from disgust to deep disgust.
Ew, Harry, where on earth did you get this? Don't worry about it. Also, I boosted another car this afternoon, so you're welcome. Whatever.
Zinnia turns around to the stove and accidentally knocks her 40-ounce of steel reserve off the counter.
Oh, no.
Shit!
You're doing her a favor.
Tastes like copper.
The room stands in amazement as the 40 hovers in midair. Matilda uses her powers to guide it safely back to the counter.
Now that is really something.
You guys got something you got to settle here?
Yeah.
What?
The time fucking Peter made me drink that 40 of fucking Steel Reserve out of the plastic bottle.
No, it was Charles.
No, it was definitely you.
Oh, we made him drink the King Cobra in the
You
small
made me drink
can.
that Steel Reserve.
Hey, I said we were gonna drink 40s and play video games.
Fuck you.
I had a good time. It was a fun day.
Hey,
Probably someone's listening to this and be like, this guy's a little bitch. Steel Reserve is fucking delicious.
It's the crack of beer.
I think it's awful. Ugh.
Ugh.
That's on point. Yes. I love you, Pete.
Yeah. It's the Canadian mist of beer.
Back at the super secret science facility. 2 FBI agents walk through the mess left behind after the stampede. In the interview room, Agent Paul Rubens kneels down and dips his gloved finger into the exploded goo remnants of Dr. Gizmo.
I was hoping Agent Paul Rubens would make an appearance.
He licks his finger to get a taste for the room.
It's blood. Yeah, no shit, it's blood, Sherlock.
Says Agent Willem Dafoe as he unwraps his headphones from his MP3 player.
Yes.
Now let me get a feel for the scene. Oh, brother, not this again.
Agent Dafoe waltzes around the room listening to classical music and finger painting some of the blood on the walls.
A man exploded in here!
Oh man, everyone's favorite scene from the Boondock scenes.
Oh, you don't say. Amazing psychic energy in here. If this child were to fall into the wrong hands, say like whatever foreign power we're currently feuding with at the time, she would become a very powerful weapon. Oh, and I suppose it was all hunky-dory just keeping her locked up here, right?
You're on point with that. Oh, you hunky-dory.
It's a solid Pee-wee.
Yeah, fucking great.
Agent Rubens, you don't understand science very well, do you? We have to find the subject, or else there will be consequences.
Now comes the interactive part. I'm gonna need a Mad Lib help from you guys.
All right. Call in right now. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. All right.
Fuck you.
So first, and really think about this, I need a high-value commodity resource.
Uranium?
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Yeah, that's good, Des.
Why are you so surprised?
No, I just...
The fuck are you insinuating?
No,
that I'm a dummy?
I'm just saying it's really good off the cuff.
All right.
You could
I'll
have said
take
like
that.
gold or diamonds or something. You said uranium.
All right.
Those are good.
Now I need a unit of measure.
Gram.
I kind of like knew you'd say that because I was going to say it too.
Yeah. There we go. Synchronicity, not nicety. Synchronicity.
All right,
All right.
back to it.
Back to Matilda Prequel.
Matilquil.
Matilquil.
In the Wormwoods garage, a ragtag unit of dirty thieves are assembled.
Okay. I'm sure you all want to know what you're doing here. Each of you has a particular skill set necessary for this job. Dorian, you have the know-how. Baby Bowser, you're the best getaway driver I've ever known. Twister Rodriguez, Auto Rocket was unavailable, but you're my second choice for skateboards.
Always rocket power, Scott. Always rocket power. Just find a
It's
way
the
to...
second time.
Hey, bro, we're gonna go get microwave gas station bean burritos. Yeah, dude, we're gonna fart later. It's gonna be cool. You poke holes in my condoms, Twist? Twister Rodriguez, Auto Rocket was unavailable, but you're my second choice for skateboards. And my axe!
Screams Gimli from the next seat over.
Right. Right. I was just getting to you, Gimli. You've got an axe. So, with our powers combined, we're going to pull off the biggest heist you've ever seen. Tonight, we're knocking over the uranium vault. Inside, there are over 200 million grams of uranium. Worth an estimated 500 million smackaroos. Split 5 ways, that's 100 mil per participant. Then, we hold the majority stake of the product. Corner the market, raise the price. Supply and demand type shit. Sounds pretty sweet, huh?
Dorian exhales cigarette smoke.
Everybody knows about the uranium vault. Everybody also knows it's locked up like Fort Knox. What makes you think we could break in?
Harry reveals Matilda.
We have a secret weapon.
Cut to outside the uranium vault facility. Nighttime. Dressed in dark camo clothes, the gang of crooks sneak up to the fence line.
Okay, Matilda, do the thing.
Matilda uses her powers to force the front gate open. A confused gate guard comes out to inspect when he is bludgeoned severely by Gimli's huge fucking axe. Harry gives the signal and they enter the property. Dorian swings a grappling hook onto the roof and they all climb to the top. Harry signals that they're right on top of the vault. He and Dorian use power drills to unscrew a gate in the side of the air ducts. Twister gives the thumbs up and drops into the grate on his skateboard. He flies down the tubing, shredding some major sick kick flips, pop shove-its, dark slides, 50-50 grinds,
Impossible?
burial heel flips, tail grabs, air walks, and the infamous hand plant ollie north indie nose grab McTwist before reaching the bottom of the air duct system. After disabling the alarm system at a panel, he radios in.
Twister here. The lame-o has left the building. Got it.
Says Harry. They kick open the roof access door and covertly make their way down the stairs. Once they reach the proper floor, Dorian uses a mirror to look around the corner.
There's too many guards by that entrance.
Gimli stands up.
Nonsense.
The guards are standing idly by the vault door. Cue sexy music. Out walks Gimli in a sexy red dress.
You guards, I'm sirening in your direction.
Way to swerve, Scott. Way to swerve.
I love you, man. I love you.
Oh my god. Oh man, that was zagging. I thought you were zigging.
And I zagged.
Yeah, let's actually not call what he's doing zagging right now, because that's gross.
All right.
To me.
Is it? It's a thing?
I don't know, but it sounds gross.
All right.
Zagging? He was zagging? Sounds gross.
my axe.
Yeah.
I love Gimli.
Yeah. It's charming. Gets over his prejudices.
The guards, magnetically pulled by their shallow sexuality, are lured towards Gimli, who is showing off a very hairy leg.
Oh.
One of the guards gets closer.
Hey, baby, I'm completely willing to forget my training for you. That's a pretty big beard you got there. Hey, wait a sec.
Gimli pulls out his axe and beheads the guard, blood spraying into the air like a fountain. He barrels through the remaining guards. Dorian rushes up and uses a stethoscope or whatever to break open the vault or something.
Or whatever.
Once inside, they all gasp in awe of the giant grams of uranium.
There it is, boys.
As they begin to package up the goods, Harry brings Matilda over to the wall.
You see this wall, honey? I need you to break it down. Can you do that for Daddy?
Matilda nods and concentrates. The wall begins to crack a little. She screams and concentrates even harder. The building shakes and rock and dust begin to fall from the wall. Finally, the wall cracks and crumbles to the ground. Dorian is impressed.
Wow, Harry, she really just brought down a wall with her mind. You know, stranger things have happened.
Holy fuck, Scott.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh.
It's not in my thing. It's not in my story. But I actually thought about having the character of Sheriff Hopper in my thing, my sequel, and him saying that.
Jeez.
Well,
That's really funny. But I didn't, so I'm a fucking asshole.
Why did you say it like that? Say it like what?
Baby Bowser backs the truck up to the wall.
All right, fuckheads, let's load this baby up. Come on.
The crew begins tossing packages up onto the truck.
Baby Bowser.
A badly beaten guard crawls over to the desk and hits the emergency alarm button. Immediately, other guards begin swarming into the area. Gimli holds them off for a while, but eventually he is shot down.
Let's fucking bail. Baby Bowser, step on it.
The crew jumps into the back of the truck and exchange gunfire with the guards as they peel out into the parking lot.
Wait for me.
Screams Twister as he skateboards towards them. He pulls off a sweet, fakey switch ollie over a car, but is shot midair. He sails through the air and into the back of the truck. Coughing up blood, he lies in Harry's arms.
1-2 finish like always, right, Auto Man? Don't you go dying on me, kid. Matilda, can you save him?
Matilda shrugs, but tries anyways. Only she can't. She doesn't have that power. Twister dies. Twister passes on, like so much dust in the wind.
All we are is dust
I
in the
fucking
wind.
love this show. I really do.
Seeing a colleague die, not surprisingly, changes something in Matilda. She turns around and walks off the back of the moving truck. Only she uses her powers to land safely on the ground and then escape into the woods. Harry stops the truck and they look around for a moment, but leave when they hear the sirens. Cut to Mitch Mitchelson reading the newspaper in his nice, clean living room. Suddenly, the doorbell rings.
Now who could that be?
Mitch opens the door to Matilda standing in the yard.
He walks out to meet her. Oh, hello, Matilda. Have you come to live with us and have a nice, happy, normal life from now on?
Matilda nods and smiles.
All right, well, let's get you inside, warm, fed, and content. I just recorded Shrek 3 on the DVR. I only just started it, so we can rewind it to the beginning if you want.
Matilda shrugs, but joins Mitch to head back inside anyways. Suddenly, Agent Paul Rubens steps out behind Mitch and blows his brains out all over the entryway. Screams Matilda, rupturing Agent Paul Rubens' eardrums. Agent Defoe grabs Matilda and takes her towards the van. Then, something strange happens. Matilda is in the driveway watching as Agent Defoe puts Tilda into the van. Agent Paul Rubens is screaming and motioning to his ears, but he is not making any sound. Agent Defoe tries to comfort him and lead him back to the van. As the van pulls out of the driveway, it appears to dim in opacity. As it drives off, it literally disappears. Then, another Agent Defoe walks up and puts his hand on Matilda's shoulder.
Say goodbye to Tilda. In this driveway, Matilda is born. And so it is in this timeline that you'll get to stay. Because you're a special kid. Now, in our timeline, Tilda comes with us. Afraid that's just the way it goes. But you'll get to stay here with the Wormwoods. It's not the ideal setup. But what would you expect from the government? You'll be free to grow up with a modern family, forget all about this terrible situation. And your powers, they'll subside. Unless, of course, your family is somewhat abusive, then they might resurface later.
Matilda finally realizes she has a voice.
But what about my friendly neighbor? Isn't there a timeline where he gets to live and I get to go live with him?
No. No, there isn't. It's kind of fucked up, but no matter what timeline he was on before, they were all destined to end right here. Crazy, right?
The end.
I don't know.
You picked a route and you went with it.
I like your use of Twister Rodriguez.
Yeah, I love that. I love that your prequel doesn't contradict anything in my sequel.
Well, good.
It's part of the Matilda expanded universe.
Or anything in my remake, since it doesn't matter.
Shut the fuck up with your remake, Peter.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
Lots to unpack there. MK Tilda.
Yeah.
Normalizing patterns of child abuse.
God. The Stranger Things hitting me later is like, oh, of course.
Stranger things have happened. That's hilarious. You did a good job, Scott.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. So what are the stats?
Yeah, the stats. Coming in with the stats.
The stat is
Budget,
six.
$80 million. Expected profit, $100 million. Because he doesn't want $20 more million.
Yeah.
Actual profit, break even with Netflix deal. Becomes cult classic. A second installment is released, but kind of really jumps the shark in a lot of ways.
Some adults hate this children's classic for the same reason kids love it. It shows a good, smart child overcoming evil, dumb adults.
Matt Berman, actual review for the book Matilda.
Oh.
This movie really reminded me of some of the fucked up stuff that happened in the 80s and how cool sci-fi concepts look on the silver screen. 10 out of 10.
Johnny missed a point from Lake Titicaca. And that's all I
Is that
got.
real? Is that actual review for Stranger Things?
No, but
Yeah. No.
Could have been.
Could have been.
I,
Yeah.
Could
yeah,
have been.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Really good job, Scott.
Yeah, Scott.
Hilarious fare as usual. Respect Knuckles, and let's move on to I don't know what are the winds telling me?
Winds of
comes up
change.
next? We're on to the sequel.
All right, Desmond. You have the sequel to a children's film.
To a children's film. What are we going to do? Where are we going with this? All right, are you
But
ready?
I would like to say that the last time Des had the sequel to a children's film, he gave us Sykes' Tale, which is, if you haven't heard it, go back to Shark Tale and listen to Sykes' Tale.
Yeah, let's listen to it now.
So what sequel have you cooked up, Desmond?
MVP.
Most Valuable Primate?
Matilda versus Predator.
What?
Tagline.
What? No, stop for a second here. Matilda versus Predator.
That's where I'm going with this.
Is that exactly what I think it's going to be?
It's gonna be goddamn close. Takes a few twists and turns, but Matilda's gonna fight a fucking predator. So strap on in, folks. Tagline: place your bets. Yeah. Okay, you guys got it. Obviously.
Yeah.
Tagline. Oh wait, I said that. Director: Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have you know this is not because of the stylistic choice I decided on. This is just because I couldn't think of anyone.
That's fine.
So I added a name to
I love Blade 2.
Okay, synopsis. In a seedy motel in Guam, Mr. Wormwood, Danny DeVito, sits
Great.
at his window with a snub-nosed revolver. He is wounded, bleeding from the shoulder. The Flee to Guam initiative had not panned out to his liking. Mrs. Wormwood, Rhea Perlman, sits across from him on the bed with Mikey, both noticeably panicked.
Do you think we lost him?
Quiet! I hear footsteps.
Who the hell was that? The feds? I know they wanted to take you down, but to shoot you in the street?
It all happened so fast. Did you get a look at the guy?
No, it was a blur. Looked like a 7-foot turkey to me.
A loud thud is heard at the door. The family freezes. Mr. Wormwood cocks his weapon. Silence. Then the door slams open, busting it at the hinges. The Wormwoods look in horror as they await their pursuer's entry, but no one appears. They look around the room in dismay. With their backs turned to the front door, the Predator decloaks himself and comes into view. Mr. Wormwood turns around and in a startled tizzy, fires on the creature. The Predator looks at his flesh wound unfazed, then approaches Mr. Wormwood, grabs him by the neck, and tears out his spinal column.
On brand, but
Mrs. Wormwood screams. Mikey vomits and passes out. The Predator then approaches Mrs. Wormwood, staring her down, but walks past her to the room's closet. Predator grabs a duffel bag and dumps it out. He roots through the assortment of tacky clothes and bowling trophies until coming to a silky blue ribbon. He clenches the ribbon and brings it to his face and removes his helmet. The fierce warrior takes a strong whiff of the ribbon as to get a scent. Finding what he was looking for, he exits the motel room, leaving behind the mortified family of the corpse that once was Mr. Wormwood.
all right, off to a rousing start, Des.
Wow. I'm hearing the rain coming down and
Yeah.
like the bleakness and yeah, it's good.
Smash cut! Red bold-faced title card against a black background. Matilda versus Predator.
Badass. Hell yeah.
The children of Miss Honey's class at Crunch'em Hall present for show and tell.
So, this is my favorite Beanie Baby. Chocolate. She's a moose.
Oh.
That is the Moose Beanie Baby.
I looked that up.
I think meese are pretty cool.
Miss Honey, Embeth Davids, comes to congratulate.
Well, very good, William. Thank you for sharing. I like your moose, Billy.
The class spins around in horror. We focus on Matilda, Mara Wilson, sitting alone in the back of the classroom.
Oh, well, thanks, Matilda. My brother gave her to me. No, you see, I really like your moose, Billy. Yeah, but, my brother, he gave it to me. He's like my hero, so really, you'd better let me hang on to that, Billy. For safekeeping.
A sinister look comes across her face. Matilda stands up and begins to walk down the aisle, slowly. The rest of the class, even Miss Honey, remains seated and silent. Matilda comes to Billy's desk and opens it with her telekinesis. She levitates a drawing compass from the desk and brings the point right to Billy's eye. She stares at him and smiles. Matilda grabs the moose from Billy's hand and slinks off back to her desk. She keeps the point of the compass on him for the remainder of class.
Oh my god.
The once sweet girl had become an unhinged and dangerous bully. No one truly knew what happened to Matilda for her to turn out in such a way. Although all signs point to a life filled with parental abuse and the discovery of godly amount of power at an extremely young age.
Oh, wow, yeah, I can't see that doing any sort of damage.
Maybe she grew resentful of her peers who couldn't keep up with her far superior intellect. Or maybe it was Miss Honey, whom she found competently enigmatic at best. She sat that afternoon at lunch recess, watching the other children from afar, bending trees in the distance with her mind. That night at their home, Miss Honey and Matilda sat in silence. There was no fairy tale ending for those two. The relationship had become strained. Miss Honey had found it harder and harder to connect with her daughter. To make matters worse, she had become increasingly alarmed by Matilda's penchants for bullying other kids and her.
So, Matilda, have you read any good books lately? I know you've just been plowing through them. Nothing at your reading level, Jennifer.
Damn, that's cold.
Matilda, no mean to be rude. I'm just trying to talk to you. While that may be stimulating for you, rest assured that it is nothing but a distraction for me. Damn it, Matilda! What's happened to you? You bully other kids? You take things that don't belong to you? You're scaring people! I thought we agreed that you weren't to use your powers again. I'm sure you'd like to decide that for me, wouldn't you, Jennifer? To stifle a limitless power I have? Why? Because you're jealous of me? That I'm unique? The only thing interesting about you is that your daddy was murdered?
Miss Honey begins to cry.
Matilda, sweetheart, why do you hurt me?
Oh my god.
Oh, I've got it. It's my youth. You're a bittered, unmarried hag, and I have my whole life in front of me.
Miss Honey begins to sob uncontrollably. Matilda looks on him with disgust.
Pathetic.
Oh my god.
Matilda gets up and wrecks the dinner table with her telekinesis, breaking dishes and sending food flying everywhere.
Oh boy.
Talking about abusive power.
Boy. Boom, 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 boy.
Okay, so if you just got knows, what the fuck do I call that song so I can find it?
I had it written down on the
It's
outline.
it's in the outline.
Okay.
But honestly, if you Google Boy, it really is like number 2.
U-M.
Yeah. It will come up. It will come up. It's also in the Ice Age soundtrack.
Yeah.
One of those songs that just keeps getting
It's like-
recycled in kids' movies.
It's some stupid band. I can't remember.
Oh, Jesus Christ, they suck. Meanwhile, at the local state prison, the Trunchbull, Pam Ferris, sits in her cell lifting weights. Trunchbull went down hard, taking the fall for the corrupt embarrassment that was the school district. Aggravated assault, child abuse, unregistered firearm possession, you name it. She was serving hard time. Suddenly, she hears an electrical shortage. Standard fare for the putrid establishment. Without warning, a huge explosion erupts from the farthest wall of the prison. Sprinklers turn on and guards pour in the doorway, opposite the gaping hole in the wall. The Predator reveals himself through the smoke.
Freeze!
Yells one of the prison guards. The Predator makes his way forward and throws his smart disc at the screaming guard, beheading him. As the disc returns to the Predator, the other guards begin shooting as the Predator leaps into the air to dodge, scoring several headshots with his shoulder-mounted laser. As the Predator comes back down to the ground, he dispatches the remaining guards, up close and personal with his wrist blades. Several more guards storm in the room, single file, but the Predator pulls out a high-tech auto-extending spear and shish kebabs them.
Nice.
With the onslaught of guards taken care of, the Predator walks up to Trunchbull, who drops her weights and steps up to the Predator. unafraid.
I always knew one day you'd come for me.
The Predator speaks in his native tongue.
So it's the girl you seek. Wretched little twit got me locked up. I'll tell you where she is. For a price.
The Predator motions to her, as if to say, go on.
Well, I'm not ever getting out of here. I'm gonna be locked up till I die. Give me a warrior's death.
The Predator nods, as if to oblige. He rips the cell door open. Trunchbull gets on her knees and bows her head. The Predator brings out his long machete-like blade stored on his side and brings it to the base of the Trunchbull's neck.
You can find her at Cruncham Hall Elementary. And just do me one favor. You kill that bitch good.
The Predator swiftly beheads Trunchbull, cutting through her neck surgically. He walks to the large hole in the prison, as the other prisoners cheer. He jumps onto his ship that had been hovering on the side of the building. Calmly entering the cockpit, the hunter flies off to claim his bounty. The next morning, Miss Honey watches the news of the prison massacre on the TV as she eats her breakfast. She doesn't quite know how she feels about the Trunchbull's murder. Relief? Guilt?
Matilda, honey, it's time for school. I'm not going. I have work to do.
Miss Honey makes her way up the stairs to her daughter's room and tries to open the door.
Now, Matilda.
Suddenly, pieces of rebar explode from the wall and curl up, effectively locking the door. Matilda's work, no doubt. Miss Honey just leaves. As she drives to work, she gets lost in her own thoughts and begins to question her decision to adopt Matilda. Had she bit off more than she can chew? And if so, was that something she could even reverse? She arrives at school and heads to her classroom. A man in a trench coat, played by Ed Harris, is waiting there for her.
Yeah.
Gotta love Ed Harris.
He tips his hat.
Good morning, ma'am. I mean, not to alarm you, but may I have a word?
I'm not sure we've met. Are you with the district?
I guess, in a sense.
Sure. But make it quick. School starts in about 15 minutes.
The two head inside. The man sits down and helps himself to the apple on Miss Honey's desk.
Jerk.
What I'm about to tell you may alarm you, Miss Honey. It's about your daughter.
What about her? Is she all right? She was sick today, so I left her at home.
No. She's fine. And will continue to be fine, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't. What'd you say your name was?
You think a person can have the abilities like young Matilda has and not be on the radar of a certain organization?
Are you implying that you've been watching my daughter, sir? I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I know she's gotten violent. Jaded. I know the way she hurts you. I'm very sorry.
What do you want with me?
The massacre on the prison that held your aunt was no random act. That was the work of the creature. No one quite knows where it came from. Well, where in the universe, that is. Certainly not from this planet. A new one appears every so often. We've surmised that it's some kind of sport hunter. Seeks out the most cunning beings on our planet. Most dangerous game. Your Aunt Trunchbull went toe-to-toe with one in her Olympic days. And it's returned to claim Matilda.
Why should I believe you? Huh? This is ridiculous.
Did you hear about the killings? The precision? The speed?
What do you want with me? This thing is coming for my daughter.
I can protect you. I can kill the bastard. Took one down before. Some bitch may have took my leg. Kunk kunk. But I got him. But you surrender Matilda to the U.S. government for testing when this is all said and done. Her power must be studied. Harnessed.
Miss Honey bows her head in shame and complies.
Good. Let's go. School's canceled today.
The two head to Miss Honey's car and make their way back to Miss Honey's house. Sometime down the road, The Predator decloaks himself from the back seat.
Oh shit, it's the fucking Predator!
He turns around and tries to shoot the Predator, but the creature stabs Ed Harris repeatedly with its blades through the back seat. Ed Harris spits out blood and screams.
We both had coughing up blood. So.
Yep.
And walls exploding, I should say.
We did.
Yeah.
Will it continue?
The classic 3-pronged laser sight appears on the back of Miss Honey's head, but she intentionally rolls the vehicle. After the crash, she manages to pull herself out of the wreckage and limps her way the remaining few blocks home. No Predator in sight. She bursts through the door, panicked. Matilda sits, levitating, with her eyes glowing.
Hello, Jennifer. Matilda! Why would you sell me to the U.S. government? Oh, shit, you're reading minds now? I always knew I couldn't trust you.
Matilda then unleashes a psychic blast that sends Miss Honey flying back, incapacitating her. Matilda then hears a loud thud on the roof, then footsteps. A window breaks. The ceiling then explodes, and down drops the Predator. The mortal enemies stand off, face to face. Predator launches the smart disc at the young girl, who easily uses her powers to glide through the air and evade it. Matilda telepathically throws the kitchen knives at the alien warrior, who deflects them with his staff at inhuman speeds. Predator launches several laser cannon shots, but Matilda easily leaps around the room and evades. Predator triggers his cloak. Matilda closes her eyes to focus, trying to locate the monster with her mind. As she levitates in her trance, the invisible Predator cuts off Matilda's arm. She screams, blood spraying everywhere. Pain quickly turns to anger, and she flings a fire poker at the Predator, spearing him through and pinning him to the wall. She bends the metal poker to hook him in place. Matilda begins disassembling all technology in the room and assembling herself a prosthetic arm. Upgrading herself more and more, she fashions herself into a machine-human hybrid before the Predator's eyes. The child begins punching the Predator repeatedly with her wiry metal arm. The Predator's helmet cracks and falls off as it bleeds profusely. Matilda takes a look at its bare face.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
The Predator rips himself off the fire poker on the wall, grabs Matilda and throws her out the nearby window. Almost without hesitation, he fires a charge blast from the shoulder cannon, only to be countered by Matilda, who flies back in the room, shooting her own psychic energy blast. The two streams of energy meet, and a large explosion ensues. Big Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Trading energy, folks. The Predator lays, charred, but alive, trying to get to his feet. Matilda, surrounded by the rubble of the house, yet seemingly unscratched, writhes in pain. Her skin begins to bubble and expand. She morphs and swells into an ever-growing mass of flesh and circuitry.
Oh my god, you didn't.
Engulfing everything in her path.
Oh my god, you totally did.
Miss Honey, who survived the explosion, comes to and looks on in horror as Matilda is now 5 stories tall.
Oh my
with
God.
a grotesque and nearly unrecognizable appearance. She gurgles and pusses, screaming in pain.
Miss Honey, help me!
A cybernetic tentacle extends from the mass that is Matilda, pulling Miss Honey in. She screams as she's sucked into the wall of flesh. Nothing can stop Matilda. Fully engulfed in Matilda's bulbous body, Miss Honey is slowly crushed to death. Matilda can hear laughing from somewhere. It's the injured Predator. He fumbles with the buttons on his arm-mounted control panel. A self-destruct sequence. The Predator continues to cackle as Matilda's tentacles begin to suck him in as well. The self-destruct counter reaches 1, and before he can explode, the Predator plays back Matilda's earlier insult.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
And then explodes. Matilda's deformed body is wiped from the face of the planet, along with the Predator. No remains were left behind. Some people say that Matilda was killed that day. Some say she ascended to a higher plane of existence. Somewhere, deep in the cosmos, we see nothing but the blackness of space. When a big bang occurs, we then hear the words,
I am Matilda.
the end.
Ooh, okay. So some twists and turns. I liked how it was Akira at the end.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
psyched up.
did not see that coming for sure.
Tetsuo!
That's the problem with merging with machines is that you gotta watch out.
There's the psychic energy thing in addition to the machine thing. It's Akira's.
I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Akira, any of Akira fucked me up.
Dude, it totally messed me up. Yeah,
for a long time.
yeah, God, Matilda is such a dick. I mean, I like how you went like the power going to her head, like sociopathy kind of way.
Yeah, in case it's unclear, because I don't think we actually really went over it in the preamble, but at the end of Matilda, she leaves her terrible parents, the Wormwoods,
Yeah,
to live with her
Miss Honey,
teacher,
yeah.
Miss Honey. Which is, apparently very clear now, and I'm belaboring the point. But you know, that's what set this whole thing up. And yeah, excellent way of showing the awkwardness of that situation, just the haste. She just jumped into this situation.
Man.
And
Yeah.
She didn't know shit about this girl. Other than
No.
I kind of
like her in class. And
right.
I think it's
She's telekinesis.
yeah, badass.
there was really not much funny about that at all.
No.
So have fun, Audie, or listeners.
Well, you really delivered on the concept of Matilda versus Predator. I'll
Thank
give
you,
that.
thank you.
Yeah, and I would like to say, we can't do Predator on the show, so it was a nice workaround to do Predator
Yeah.
because we can't do it for the show. So good
I will
job.
say my favorite thing is Trunchable requesting a Warriors.
Yeah, no, that's very good.
Asking for
That part was very good.
the illusion that like the Predators or the Trunchables Olympic time was like spent fighting Predators or
Yeah.
something. Like I was stoked off that.
Sneaking in a little Ed Harris, because why not?
Right, which may or may not be Sabretooth. Didn't say it. Will not confirm nor deny.
It's interesting.
So Rotten Tomatoes score 32% critics.
It's sad to see the genius of Roald Dahl sullied by this popcorn tripe.
Despite this complaint, Roald Dahl's estate tried to retroactively release Matilda vs. Predator, the book, as if it was the plan the whole time. No one was really fooled, but the drawings by Quentin Blake are lovely. 79%
Well
audience. 79% audience.
Yeah, it was pretty good. There was Alien was in it, and Cujo.
Budget $45 million. Expected gross profit $50 million. Actual gross profit $140 million. A cross-franchise delight for the whole family, and that Akira ending definitely didn't scare the shit out of kids. There
Nice.
you
All right, nice. Well done, Desmond.
go. Cool.
Wow.
That if anything was going to be Matilda versus Predator, that was
was it.
indeed
That was it.
Matilda versus
Dude,
Predator.
when fucking Tetsuo is turning that blob,
oh my
and
God.
like the nice girl just get
Yes,
crushed in that massive
and
flesh.
then chokes on her own blood.
fucking
It's
horrific,
real bad.
dude.
Have you seen Akira, Scott?
Yeah, it's been a
Okay.
long time.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Just watch like Akira transformation scene on YouTube,
Oh yeah.
and just like
It's the best part.
I can imagine pretty
It's the
good.
best part.
Yeah.
The weird old kids.
yeah, man.
The weird old kids.
I know a lot of people hate that movie because it's not like true to the manga, but
Whatever.
I think that movie's awesome.
I think it's good for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let the manga be the manga. Let
Well,
the book be the
this is
book.
a fucking long episode if there ever was one. But
Yeah.
let's move right along.
Yeah.
Thank you for enjoying, guys. But we have Remake from our resident Peter Hunter.
All right, gentlemen. Remake.
Remake.
Title: Wormwood. Period. Like Helvetica font. Yeah. Wormwood. Tagline: Living is easy. Growing up is harder. Alternate tagline: based on the novel Push by Sapphire. Alternate tagline: actually based on the novel by Roald Dahl. Directed by Dawson's Creek.
The show?
Don't overthink it.
The whole shit? Like,
Don't.
the people who made the show? Or
Don't
the,
overthink it.
The Creek?
Synopsis: Makeout Creek, Middle America, USA. Night. It was the kind of night that shone a particularly edgy and moody shade of purple in the moonlight. Just on the riverfront, you can just barely make out two teens, making out, in the backseat of some retro convertible that no teenager could possibly afford. Some hip synth pop band can be heard playing in the background. Also, uncomfortably loud kissing sounds because these kids mean serious business.
Charlie, did did you hear something?
Yeah, Violet, it was the sound of my pants coming off.
No, I'm serious. I heard something in the river.
Babe, it's probably a turtle or something.
No, really a turtle? That was your first guess?
Okay, I'm losing my heart on here. I'm just gonna get up and check.
Wait, I'm scared.
Yeah, well, I'm horny. Welcome to being a teenager.
Charlie gets up out of the car and pokes around the river's shore with a nearby stick.
You see, babe, it's nothing. Whoa!
A loud thud can be heard in the distance.
Charlie, are you okay?
Violet bursts out of the car and runs towards the source of the sound.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just didn't see.
Charlie flicks on his cell phone light and illuminates the object that caused him to trip.
That's weird. It's all wrapped in plastic.
He uses the stick to move the top layer of the plastic aside. The two gasp.
Violet, that's Michael Wormwood.
Cue title card. Also cue the Twin Peaks theme because sometimes
Yeah.
an imitation just won't cut it, damn it.
Man. As soon as you said the
Thank you for making
plastic.
that note on that because, like, I do think, like, man, the Twin Peaks theme just worked better there. A lot, more than you would think.
All right, Crunch'em High, 2 weeks later. We see Matilda Wormwood, as portrayed by Zendaya, opening the front gate.
It would be here.
It's perfect. It's perfect casting.
Old local girl too.
Yeah, from Oakland.
Yeah.
She's 21. She can play 16. Matilda was the precocious 16-year-old daughter of Harry and Zania Wormwood, two car part import magnates and the last in the line of the founding family of the town. Matilda's parents have been totally indifferent to their son's death. Her father buried himself in his work, and Mom had to be reminded 3 times that Michael was even dead. The halls of Crunch'em High were adorned with memorials to her older brother and classmate. It all rang false to Matilda. While a bunch of the kids always schmoozed up to Michael because of their parents' wealth, she knew for a fact that absolutely no one liked him, making everyone a suspect. The bell rings and Matilda hightails it for Miss Honey's first period English class. Miss Honey, Tina Fey, had always been her favorite. Not only because she had helped orchestrate skipping Matilda all the way to senior year, but also because of the lavender scones she always had ready in the morning. Midway through a scone, she spots that local screw-up Charlie Bucket hanging around the trash cans behind Miss Honey's classroom.
Miss Honey, could I have a bathroom pass?
Well, of course, Matilda. Now, don't be too long.
Matilda, of course, never went to the bathroom, but instead rushed outside. Normally, she was a model student, but when it came into the investigation of her brother's murder, she was always willing to make an exception. The police had been keeping the whole thing close to the vest. She didn't know much, but she did know that they definitely ruled it out as an accident. Which begged the question, who in the town of Wormwood would be capable of murder?
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, Matilda.
Look, I haven't asked yet because I'm sure you're sick to death of being asked it, but I just have to know.
Just say it, Matilda.
What were you doing when you found my brother's body?
I've told the cops everything 12 times, Matilda. I got off my shift at Old Man Wonka's chocolate factory, then grabbed Violet in my Grandpa Joe's old sports car. We were macking in the back seat, she heard a noise, then I found the body. That's it!
And it was just wrapped in plastic?
Like someone had left him there.
Was there anything else?
Okay, I haven't told the cops this yet, but I found something under the body.
Charlie, you have to tell the cops what you found!
You're just like the rest of them, Matilda. Just stay out of my business. I have enough going on, okay?
Charlie then runs off. Out of the corner of her eye, Matilda saw an older boy leaning against his motorcycle, a bomber jacket draped over his shoulder. It was that boy who lived on the outskirts of town with his aunts, the ones that ran that old peach farm. He was just so cool.
Yeah.
Hello,
He's
James.
always been cool.
James has always been
I'm really
cool.
happy you did that.
James wistfully turns around as if he's contemplating something really deep, when in actuality it's no more symbolic than a video of a plastic bag caught in the wind.
Just you and I. Oh boy.
Matilda, I was waiting for you.
Really? It seems like you were just leaning against your motorcycle.
Matilda, if you have time to lean, you have time to glean.
Matilda was much too smart to pray fall to such a poorly constructed line. But damned if that boy didn't have dimples for days.
Oh, okay, James. Why were you waiting for me?
He tosses Matilda a motorcycle helmet.
Hop on if you want to know the truth.
Matilda did. James drove her deep into the wormwoods of, well, Wormwood. After about 15 minutes of driving deep into the redwoods, he suddenly stopped his bike.
Oh, man. I love you, dude.
We're here.
Matilda hops off the bike and James drives away. There's a rumbling coming from the leaves just in front of her. She can just make out a figure. It was none other than head cheerleader and class president, Veruca Salt.
Hello, Matilda. Thank you for meeting me here. Sure, Veruca.
By the way, just passed the Bethel test. It's that easy. That's all you need to do.
Wait. I passed.
Yeah, you did.
Fuck yeah.
I think you only had one lady in your thing. 2, actually, but didn't happen. Next time, Gadget.
Yeah, next
Inspector
time.
Gadget doesn't fucking pass the fucking...
Hell no, it doesn't. There's one lady in that whole movie. Matilda was confused. She had only ever interacted with Veruca in passing. While Matilda was generally well-liked among her classmates, that didn't change the fact that Veruca was a few social circles above her.
Look, it took a lot for me to come here, and it's not going to be easy to hear what I have to say. But I have to say my piece, so please just let me say it.
Matilda put her bag underneath her and sat for a spell. What Veruca had to say shook her to her very core. People have been running drugs into Wormwood, something called the BFG, short for its street name, B fucking Giant. The drug made you feel huge in every sense of the word and was selling crazy well. Matilda didn't really hang out with the experimental types, so this was the first she was hearing of it. Veruca's father was the pusher. He bought and imported all the BFG into Wormwood, but he wasn't responsible for getting the drug across town. For that, he turned to a certain high school miscreant.
Michael selling drugs? Not selling, he just figured out a way to move them around town without being detected. Didn't you ever wonder why Michael got pulled over all the time?
Matilda had always assumed that her brother was a horribly irresponsible driver, but a lot of things were starting to make sense. The long nights out, the days skipping school, the newt left in her sock drawer when she was 15. Well, maybe that one was just because he was a dick, but still!
You have to believe me, I don't know how or why Michael was killed, but that has to mean something, right? Veruca, I'd say this definitely means something.
Fade to black. Cue hip, mopey sad pop music. Think Lana Del Rey, but something much cheaper. Much, much cheaper. Cut to outside the Wormwood household late at night. Matilda has spent the day partly learning earth-shattering secrets, but mostly ditching school to read in the park. As she opens the door, she spots an old, familiar figure. It was none other than Principal Trunchbull, as played by Melissa McCarthy.
Look who's finally joining us.
The Trunchbull, as students called her, had the least...
That's a good casting.
Yeah, right? I think she'd do a good job.
That was sad to say for like 2 seconds, but I was like,
I think she'd do a good job with it. She can be hammy.
fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, she can be hammy?
Sorry, yes. I'm stating the obvious here, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Trunchbull, as students called her, had the least regard for students out of any public school employee Matilda had met in her short 16 years. There had been rumors for years about her using school funds to pay for her own, let's just say, lewd interests, but no one was able to prove anything. Matilda had even seen her pole vault a student over the fence. Seriously, the kid broke 3 bones in their leg. But again, no one was able to prove anything.
Hello, Miss Trunchbull. I was just discussing your recent truancy with your mother here.
Zinnia Wormwood, as portrayed by Rachel Dratch, seemed about as interested in the game of The Price is Right she was watching, or the terrible dye job she was in the middle of, as she did her daughter's education.
And let me just say we're both very, very disappointed in you. I'm sorry, Miss Trunchbull. I assure you it won't ever happen again. Well, see to it that it doesn't. In the meantime, I've gotten assurances from both of your parents that you will be allowed no books nor social activities for the next 3 months. Mom, come on! 3 months? Oh, come on! It's coffee! How do you botch a category that's something you need in the morning? I mean, come on! It's coffee!
She shouts at the TV.
Well, looks like I'll be seeing you around, Miss Wormwood.
The Trunchbull tips an invisible hat toward Matilda in typical milady fashion and exits. Matilda couldn't believe what transpired. Michael ditched school and screwed around all the time, and Trunchbull had never visited home for him.
Welcome home, sweetie.
The voice rang cold. It was her father, as portrayed by Ray Wise. Some imitations just aren't worth it.
Why settle for less?
Why settle for less than Ray Wise? I love you, Ray Wise. You're a wonderful actor.
This is not the first time Ray Wise has come up in
No,
the
it isn't.
podcast.
No.
He's
no.
usable.
Nor Melissa McCarthy.
God bless Prequel Sequel Remake. Best show available.
Get him to fucking guess.
Yeah, I wish.
Like
Damn
Ray
it.
Wise sitting right
Yeah,
there.
sitting over there.
We
Yeah.
actually have Ray Wise. Fuck our movie scripts. Let's talk about Ray Wise.
No, but Scott, you see, when you brought up Commander Bing,
Oh man.
You're making me blush, Ray Wise.
All right. Welcome home, sweetie. It's Ray Wise. All right. Ray Wise playing the dad.
Hey, Dad. Sweetie, what did we tell you after Michael had his accident? Dad, I didn't ask you what it was. I asked you what we told you. No funny business. Louder. No funny business. That's right. And I really don't find anything you've done in the last 24 hours too funny.
this is the most depressing fucking episode I think yet.
Yeah,
we really just just skewed on the fucking like
all the.
don't get me wrong,
all
it's
the-
still funny, but like
The whimsy is gone.
yeah, we all just chose
we
to be
cut to the cold
30-year-old
reality.
men.
The
today,
macabre.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we're 30.
Dad, if this is something about the Trunchbull said, oh, you should thank Miss Trunchbull. I wanted to be much harder on you, but she talked me down. Dad, I'm not Michael. No, you are not Michael, because you are alive, and I intend to keep you that way.
In a fit, Matilda tosses her book bag to the floor and runs to the one place she knew she could be alone: the roof.
This is my house, Matilda, and we will all be safe under my roof.
Fuck, Peter.
She cried for hours uninterrupted. She had so few comforts in life. Her brother was dead, her parents didn't care about her, and now all this? It was almost too much for a teenager to take. Suddenly, she felt a buzz in her pocket. It was a text message from Charlie Bucket.
Meet at the creek. Now.
It read. Matilda wiped the tears from her eyes. What could it mean? She stood and turned toward her window. But suddenly, her feet weren't on the roof anymore. She was falling toward the ground. She could just barely make out a figure from the top of the roof. Someone pushed her. But who? Matilda gazed toward the ground in a fit of terrible emotion. She couldn't believe it was going to end this way. So many things unresolved. So many questions unanswered. Her rage boiling her blood from the outside in. Just as she had resigned herself to her fate, she noticed something. She wasn't falling anymore. Somehow she was floating very safely and slowly, drifting toward the ground. Matilda landed gently on her feet and looked up at the roof from whence she had fallen. The figure scurried off into the woods behind the house. There would be time to figure out what the heck just happened. Matilda wanted answers now. She chased after the figure. She couldn't make out a lot about them, only that they were just a bit taller than herself. She ran as fast as her legs could carry her, when suddenly, she tripped. In a massive thud, she was out cold. Several hours later, Matilda was awoken by the sounds of birds chirping, and by the sting of the sun in her eyes. She felt a massive bump on her forehead. What time was it? What day was it? She checked her phone. 10 missed calls and dozens of texts. James, the school, Miss Honey, Violet. Why was everyone calling her? She opened the messages.
Matilda, have you seen Baruch's video?
OMG! Matilda, have you seen it?
Call me. We need to talk.
Matilda, open Snapchat!
Matilda, have you checked your Snapchat?
Matilda, open your Snapchat!
She checked. She still had service out in the woods. She opened the first message on Snapchat.
Hello, everyone. Exciting news today.
It was Veruca Salt and her father. She held up a sonogram.
I was trying to keep this under wraps, but I'm expecting. Yeah, it looks like the cheer squad is getting a new junior member. Now I know you're all wondering who the father is. Well, was.
Matilda gasped. Veruca hadn't told her everything. She knew Michael more than through her father's drug operation. Michael was the father of her unborn child. Matilda's hands went weak and she dropped her phone to the soft earth below. Wait, it wasn't earth. It was something brown? What was it? Is this chocolate? But that wouldn't concern Matilda because of the source of what was lying before her. She wouldn't have believed it if she wasn't seeing it with her own eyes. But she had to confront the cold hard truth of it all. This was absolutely real. Charlie Bucket was dead. To be continued in part 2.
Yes!
So, backstory for this. I wrote this. There's more. It's like 14 pages long. If you go to prequelsequelremake.com/blog right now, part 2 will be there in the future. Future Peter has put it there. So,
Wow.
You can read it there if you want the conclusion.
I like that.
It was going to be way too long, and that's the most satisfying place to end it right there. So,
Nice.
yeah, so, that's
Nice
my
and Twin
remake.
Peaksy.
Very Twin Peaksy, the Twin Peaks / Roald Dahl expanded universe
Yes,
shit.
yeah. Oh, there's
Man,
more.
I just love that type of weird pairing, man.
But Peter, did you wash your hands before you sat down to write this episode?
I washed my fingernails too, Scott.
Really? Because I see some dirt way up underneath your fingernail. Desmond, Peter did not wash his hands before sitting down to write this episode.
God, is that from the deleted scenes from Firewalk with Me, or is that actually in Firewalk with Me?
That's in Fire
Is it?
Walk with Me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
How about somebody needs to incorporate the Mitchum brothers
Oh, I
from,
love
from
it.
The
yeah.
Return.
So
People are very stressed
Friggin',
these days.
Jim Belushi.
Yeah, in his best role ever.
He has the fucking pie.
Yeah. So,
Man, yeah, go watch
Yeah.
Twin Peaks if you haven't.
Yeah, so-
all of it.
Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah,
You
amazing.
gotta watch the original.
Yeah.
Everyone will
go
tell
to the
you.
best.
Everyone will tell you how much season 2 sucks. Now you shouldn't watch it, but
You should only skip like 5 episodes.
no.
There's a lot of bad stuff.
It
in
sucks,
season
but you
2.
should just watch
Okay,
it.
fair. Also, I'd say Riverdale was a big inspiration for this as well. We're
Yeah.
more Riverdale.
right.
I enjoy Riverdale quite a bit, but I imagined if they rebooted this, it'd be kind of like that because Riverdale is like Josie and the Pussycats, a bunch of other Archie characters in the town of Riverdale. So that's why there's all
It's
the
a
Roald
vessel
Dahl
for them
characters.
to kind of like make a hip thing out of Archie Comics characters that are classically lamer than fuck.
Yeah, yeah, but I do enjoy Riverdale. I will say that.
Oh, man, it's
like Twin Peaks.
Archie and
it's like
Jughead.
Twin Peaks, like yeah, Jughead.
Oh, Jughead fucks. Jughead's a fucking
Desmond.
hunk.
Everyone does.
Oh, everyone fucks. But Jughead's, I think, one of the Sweet Life kids. It's
yes.
Dylan or Cole Sprouse.
It's Cole Sprouse,
He's a little
yeah.
hunk, and
Didn't Archie die?
In the comics, yes, he took a bullet for his gay friend because someone wanted to kill them for being gay.
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
That's so fucking weak.
I have
a nice
an
thing to
issue of
do,
it. I have an
but-
issue of it right there in that stack of comics. That's what happens.
I'll believe you.
Yeah.
I mean, just to clarify, I don't mean that's weak that he did that. I think it's just like
No.
such a pandering Archie Comics thing to do.
I don't know. I think it's
And
cool
Archie's dead. It's like,
Archie-
it's a cartoon. You don't need to kill him. I mean, but hey, that's fine. If you're ready for it to be over, it's over. It's much like this podcast.
Yeah.
And just this episode. And
that.
wow.
Yeah, if I don't read my stats.
Except for the stats.
Yeah. All right, Rotten Tomatoes score. Critics, 72%. Not as charming as the original, but hey, you can't beat a good cliffhanger. Danny DeVito, The Danny DeVito Times. Audience, 99%.
I liked how they struggled with real-life issues like your brother dying and also cell phone reception in the woods.
Brittany, High School, USA. Budget, $25 million. Expected gross profit, $220 million. Actual gross profit, $345 million. Don't underestimate teenagers, folks. Trivia. Danny DeVito filmed 6 separate cameos, none of which made the cut in the final film. This was originally meant to be a pilot for a CW show. David Lynch was not amused. And that's it.
Yay!
Yeah. Well, hey, folks, this has been Prequel, Sequel, Remake. I hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot more to say about Matilda than I ever fucking thought we would have. And that kind of makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because that's something I love about this show.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, catch us next time. We have a very special show.
Yeah, I'm
coming soon.
So next time, I guess let's not bury the lead. Let's just get on with it. We're gonna do Will Smith's best performance of the mid '90s. No, Wild West.
And we're gonna have a special guest star.
Yeah.
First for Prequel, Sequel, Remake.
Yeah.
A good close friend of ours.
Yes.
Is gonna come and sit in, and we may be. I'm just saying, we may be introducing a new role to the PSR paradigm we have set. But be sure to tune in. I hope you like the long episodes, because that one's definitely gonna be longer than fuck.
Yeah, they're just gonna be long.
Yeah, we
now.
might have to have a page cap on that one. But we'll see.
We'll see. Oh, yeah. We definitely will. So thanks, everyone. If you like what you heard, prequelsequelremake.com. Donate button right there. But honestly, just leaving a comment, liking, subscribing, all of that means a lot to us. Pre-Sequel Cast on Twitter, Facebook, Prequel Sequel Remake, Instagram, same thing. And let's just roll out with that clip of David Lynch talking about why you shouldn't watch movies on your iPhone.
Now, if you're playing the movie on a telephone, you will never in a trillion years experience the film. You'll think you have experienced it, but you'll be cheated. It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your fucking telephone. Get real.
Send me on my way.